Welcome to Television Sydney News. I'm Bianca Martins. It's great to have you with us. In this week's bulletin, a schoolboy concerned TAFE cuts will affect his future, major demolition work underway for the North West Rail link, and beer connoisseurs gear up for a big week. But first, radioactive waste from Hunters Hill will be dumped in Western Sydney despite government promises. The Kemps Creek tip has been earmarked to receive contaminated soil. The former Labor government wanted to send 5,000 tonnes of waste to the tip from the old Hunters Hill uranium smelter, a move that was eventually rejected. Now Fairfield Greens say the issue is back on the agenda and that local residents are being betrayed by the O'Farrell government.
They did promise never to dump the waste here. The Labor government made a decision not to dump the waste here, and prior to the last election, Barry O'Farrell promised that the waste would not be dumped here, and after the election the decision's changed.
The site is the only one in New South Wales authorised to store high-level restricted solid waste but cannot legally hold radioactive waste. Mr Griffiths said having the waste dumped in Western Sydney should be a major concern for residents.
Residents certainly should be concerned with the possible dumping of 5,800 tonnes of radioactive waste on this site. It could have long-term effects for the local population, and this area may well be residential in 20 years' time.
As Year 12 students begin their HSC exams this week, a Western Sydney schoolboy says his future has been compromised by TAFE cuts. Winmalee High School captain Jai Doyle says he had planned his future around an outdoor sport and recreation course offered at Blue Mountains TAFE. But the state government will only fund one of two certificates for the course next year, leaving a cloud over how students will progress to diploma level. Jai says he has been left ineligible for an ATAR after choosing school subjects for both certificates.
Without it, I can't really go anywhere, can't go to uni, have a backup plan.
Jai has written to the state government and, with the help of Labor Representative Susan Templeman, recently met with former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd to express his concerns.
Yeah, everything's been thrown around, so I now need to think of a backup plan if the course is gone.
While TAFE management and staff are yet to consider final course offerings for 2013, Ms Templeman says the O'Farrell government is hitting those who could most benefit from TAFE education.
Really, the message needs to be to Barry O'Farrell, pay some attention to the people in Western Sydney. You are the Minister for Western Sydney, so make sure you're allowing education that really suits the people of Western Sydney and the Greater West, like the Blue Mountains.
The state government has also confirmed a funding program that supported apprentices and trainees from disadvantaged backgrounds will be axed in December, affecting 36 group training organisations in Sydney's West. The long-awaited North West Rail link is becoming a reality, with demolition work for the project starting this week. Bulldozers began demolishing office buildings in Norwest Business Park to make way for Norwest Station, one of 8 along the 23-kilometre line that will run from Rouse Hill to Epping. The project is expected to ease commuter gridlock in the northwest, especially for the business park's 15,000 workers. Excavation for Norwest Station will begin in 2013, with the rail line expected to be complete by 2019. The arrest of 3 Rebels bikie associates in the Sutherland Shire and Campbelltown over the past week has brought the total number of arrests in an ongoing police drug investigation to 12. Officers attached to Task Force Riverstone arrested a man from Port Hacking, charging him with possessing an anabolic steroid and recklessly dealing with the proceeds of crime. He will face Sutherland Court next month. 2 other Rebels associates from Campbelltown have also been arrested to face drug charges and weapon charges at Campbelltown Court next month. Fear for the future of Parramatta's iconic heritage properties has escalated after an internal state government newsletter said Parramatta Jail was up for sale. Before Premier Barry O'Farrell announced a master plan for Parramatta's heritage sites that he says could unlock a potential $1 billion in economic benefits for the city, Correctional Services had plans to offload the historic property. The e-newsletter was also written before the master plan's announcement. A State Property Authority spokesman says the newsletter's wording is wrong, and Parramatta MP Jeff Lee insists there is no plan to sell the jail. The Ingham Institute for Applied Medical Research is making final preparations ahead of its official opening next Tuesday by Prime Minister Julia Gillard. The new labs in the grounds of Liverpool Hospital have some of the most high-tech equipment in the country, and Chief Operating Officer Greg Kaplan says it will be home to one of the largest research-oriented cell and tissue banks in the country. The facility will be a major hub for cancer and medical research. The Liverpool community has farewelled former Mayor and MP George Picciullo, who died last week aged 78. Mr Picciullo is best known as the man behind the introduction of random breath testing, as well as the controversial Oasis project. Random breath testing is estimated to have saved 15,000 lives since being introduced almost 30 years ago. Former Liverpool Council colleague Alex Sanchez says Mr Picciullo was instrumental in the Labor government's campaign for more health resources in Sydney's west and brought Westfield to Liverpool. Riverstone residents say a proposed overpass at Garfield Road would be the final nail in the town's coffin. The state government plans to replace the railway level crossing with a 6-metre high traffic overpass, which residents say will cut the town in two. State MP Kevin Connolly has welcomed the move, saying it will reduce traffic congestion and avoid major changes to the rail line while allowing for future development of the Northwest Growth Centre. But community spokesman Rob Rowe says the decision was about cutting costs. A dozen fishermen were detained by police and fined up to $500 each after taking 2,000 cockles from a marine sanctuary. The haul was found by water police and fisheries officers on 3 boats during the October long weekend. The fishermen from southwest Sydney were charged with offences including taking fish from the sanctuary zone, taking more than the daily limit of cockles and fishing without a licence. The village of Natai on Sydney's southwestern outskirts has declared itself coal seam gas free. About 150 Natai residents and representatives from Stop CSG Sydney Water Catchment Group held a rally last week, saying the industry is unsafe and the state government and mining companies should prove otherwise. They say mining companies are targeting water catchment areas, including Sydney's, because the Lock the Gate campaign, conducted by farmers to keep coal and gas explorers at bay, has been so successful. Swashbuckling anti-hero Hamlet will tear into town next month. Shakespeare's classic tale of revenge is showing at the Jones Sutherland Performing Arts Centre in Penrith from November 13 to 17. Normally 4 hours, this adaptation by non-profit group Emu Heights Productions is only 2 hours and includes a questions and answer sessions with the cast.
It's a really good play to catch if you're doing your HSC this year or next year, because it's actually part of the English curriculum. But it's fantastic for general audiences. Hamlet's probably the most popular play of all time. So we're doing a special film noir adaptation, which is a bit exciting. So come and check it out.
Hamlet's director Ian Zammit may have completed his drama training in London, but it was always his intention to build a community of support around the arts in Western Sydney when he came home. Emu Heights Productions is in fact named after his hometown.
We founded Emu Heights Productions in 2010 for the purpose of supporting education in performing arts in Western Sydney, and we focused on HSC productions of play texts that they study. Teachers have had a phenomenal response to us and students. We had one teacher who said that their results were improved after they'd seen the performance because they understood the text so much. So we're really proud to be able to do this.
Emu Heights Productions will host a noir-inspired fundraising soiree featuring a sneak preview of Hamlet at the Jones Sutherland Performing Arts Centre on October 27. And in sport, the Sydney Blue Sox Stadium at Blacktown International Sports Park was given a makeover last week when fans joined players and coaching staff to paint the ground light blue. Club management decided to liven up the stadium, which has largely been left idle since the Sydney 2000 Olympics.
We decided to paint the stadium to make it look like our home. It was just plain concrete before. Now it's our actual team colours. It's a little bit more alive. It also hasn't been painted for a long time, so it's actually made it feel a little bit more homely, and it's great for the atmosphere of the stadium as well.
The Blue Sox moved into the purpose-built centre in 2009 following the creation of the Australian Baseball League. Season ticket holders will get their first look at the revamped stadium next Friday when the Blue Sox host the Australian national team for a 3-match exhibition series.
The Australian series, it starts on the Friday the 26th of October and it goes Friday, Saturday and Sunday. We'd like to see as many people out here as possible. Hopefully get a full house, make some great noise out here, great atmosphere for the players.
The Blue Sox play their first home game in the Australian Baseball League on November 9. It will be the West versus the rest when newly formed Western Sydney Wanderers tackle Sydney FC at Parramatta Stadium on Saturday night. Italian superstar Alessandro Del Piero will headline the Sky Blues glamour team against the workmanlike Wanderers, who have been joined by Japanese import Shinji Ono. Wanderers Executive Chairman Lyle Gorman says the much anticipated match has been sold out. Both clubs go into the contest looking for their first win of the season. The Anthony Mundine-Daniel Gill rematch is touted as being the biggest boxing bout in Australia's history. Mundine handed Gill the solitary defeat of his professional career, clinching a controversial split decision to take Gill's IBO middleweight title in 2009. Gill has since won 2 world titles. Some are predicting the rematch, expected to take place in January, will surpass Mundine's multi-million-dollar fight against Danny Green in 2006. Leading boxing trainer David Burchell, who will work with both men in the lead up to the fight, says that on a global scale there has been no bigger fight in Australia. And finally, beer connoisseurs are licking their lips with Sydney's Craft Beer Week due to start on Saturday. Some of the best brews from all over the world will be featured in bars around the city and Greater West. At Courtney's Brasserie in Parramatta, owner and head chef Paul Coopers only serves beer from Riverside Brewing Company in North Parramatta.
Customers love it. They love the fact that it comes from, people can't believe it when you say, oh, it's from North Parramatta, it's up the road. It ties in with all our food that we get it all from the Sydney Basin. But it's, to say that it's at North Parramatta, it's literally 3 kilometres away is where it's brewed.
Head brewer at the Australian Hotel and Brewery in Rouse Hill, Neil Cameron, says craft beers are growing in popularity as Australians develop more discerning tastes. His small brewery is close to signing a national distribution deal that could see it quadruple its output.
I've been involved for about 7 or 8 years, and from then we've gone from very much a mainstream beer drinking population to people very excited about craft beer. We're now up to around about 150 breweries in Australia, and that's up from about 20 years ago. So the explosion in craft beer has been absolutely enormous. People just want something different, they appreciate good taste, and it's just often that a lot of the more commercial beers tend to be very similar, quite bland, and people are expecting a little bit more and they're getting it from their craft brewers. And it seems the more extreme beer we make, the more people actually want to enjoy it, which is a fantastic thing.
And that's all for this week's bulletin. For more information on any of these stories, pick up your local Fairfax community newspaper. I'm Bianca Martins. We'll see you next time.